Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. Here is an article from CNBC, and I will have a link to this article down in the description below, but check this out. Consumer confidence in the housing market hits the lowest point in over a decade. Look at these bullet points right here. Consumer confidence in the housing market dropped to the lowest level since 2011 as both prospective buyers and sellers have become more pessimistic. Just 17% of the surveyed in July said now is a good time to buy a home, down from 20% in June, according to the monthly survey by Fannie Mae. Even more telling, however, is that the share of sellers who think it's a good time to list their home has dropped 67% in July from 76% 2 months ago prior. This is very, very interesting that they would even, that we're at this point right now. Why? Because, you would think, in my opinion, that right now, if we jump onto the Redfin weekly housing data and we see the median sale price, and this kind of outlines the last 4 years, is why wouldn't people want to put their house on the market right now and then sell it and then sit on the cash for the next, maybe year to 2 years? They could probably buy their same home for a lot cheaper, right? And that's what's kind of weird about this whole situation, is that people are like if you look at the new listings, check this out. The new listings are kind of going down, right? Like, you would think that when prices are as high as they are, people would probably want to cash in, right? But I'm telling you, one of the reasons I feel like what's happening, and this is my opinion, is basically because the fears of inflation are huge, right? And people are people know that the prices are inflated, right? Like, for example, where I live right now, I know that it costs a lot more. Like, it's worth a lot less than than the recent people that bought what they bought at. Like, I just feel like they completely overpaid, right? And at the end, what I'm starting to think is that because of inflation, a lot less people are just kind of spooked to want to put their houses on the market. Now, I don't believe that people think that the market is going to keep going up. Anybody who thinks it's going to go up, I mean, you guys are out of your mind. Like, look at how much it has grown from 2019 to 2022. And we need to see, are people making more money in our community? Has your salary gone up as much as the housing has gone up, right? We need to put that into perspective, because, what I'm seeing is that the prices rose this much because of coronavirus and record low interest rates. So it's artificially somewhat inflated and it needs to come down, but yet we're not seeing people taking advantage of these high prices, which is the weirdest thing. Because even if you were to put your house on the market now and it drops down to 2019 levels, you would still make a lot of money. The only possible explanation is people are like, hey, money's becoming less valuable. With inflation at 10%, 9%, people are like scared, and they're thinking, hey, yeah, I can sell the house, but if I hold on to the house, it's most likely going to retain more value for my investment, for my future, than if I was to cash out right now. And that basically, the consumer confidence is kind of outlining some of that, right? I mean, think about sellers who think it's a good time to list their homes has dropped 67%, right? That's huge, and 76% from 2 months prior, right? So to think who wouldn't want to get the most for their money right now? I'm under the impression that inflation is going to come down over the next year, 2, 3 years, and housing is going to also come down. So I think people are going to, in my opinion, I feel like people are going to be kicking themselves, thinking that they could have sold their house, at the top of the market for $400,000. Once it starts going down to, in the $275,000 range, they're going to be like, man, I should have sold up here. You could have bought so much more when it crashes down here. So I don't know, but it's such an interesting article. Here, let's read a little bit just to see if anything stands out. Here is a quote right here. Unfavorable mortgage rates have been increasingly cited by consumers as a top reason behind a growing perception that it is a bad time to buy as well as sell a home, right? So so they're basically blaming it on the mortgage rates, but as a seller, it doesn't really matter what the mortgage rates are. What you want is to sell your house. Now, I understand that to sell, you got to move somewhere else. So in some ways it's like, you know, okay, so what I would do if I was looking to sell, I wouldn't jump into a house right away, right? And here's another issue is that, yeah, we do have high rent. So if you sell a house and now you got to jump into the rental market, you will be paying top dollar for a rental market. But I think for those people out there that really want to take advantage of the market, I could see a situation where you sell your house today, you downsize, maybe you put things in storage, for a year or two, but you downsize to the bare minimum, you wait, and in about, like I said, 2 years, you got all that cash in the bank. Once these prices drop, you can go ahead and basically rebuy your old house for a lot less. Now, or you're gonna have that extra cash. Another thing, people might be thinking is, hey, instead of possibly, selling my house, why don't I just take out the equity, right? Now that to me is problematic for, because if anybody who, imagine at this peak right here when houses were 280, and if someone decided to want to take out, because, this is 280 from, say somebody bought a house in 2019 for 280. And once we hit this peak in 2022 where it was almost 400, they could have sit there and took out $120,000 cash on their house. What do you do with $120,000 cash? You could possibly put it into another property or buy toys, fix your house, whatever it is. So a lot of people took out seconds on their house now, which literally raises the prices of their homes, right? Because now they're gonna be owing, depending on how much more they took out, they're gonna be owing that on top of their existing mortgage. So with that said, I feel like things are really wonky right now. There's a supply issue, which is keeping the prices high. Sellers are just scared to sell, which is ridiculous, being that it's as high as it is. Because let me tell you, if this starts dropping fast, if people start basically, if we start seeing more foreclosures, and the inventory starts to skyrocket, we are going to see changes in this, and people are gonna, if they were thinking of selling, they're gonna wish they had sold on this peak. But you know what, in general, guys, here, let's jump into the Redfin housing downturn risk score. This, the red dots are definitely the cities that are most susceptible to a downturn. Blues are sort of the safest. These red areas are very highly desirable, so you could see why they went up so much. And now they're, basically the red areas are the ones that saw some of the biggest growth, and now they're also gonna most likely see some of the biggest downturn. But I want to hear from you guys. I mean, if you're a seller, are you looking to put your house in the market like ASAP, or are you gonna hold off? What is your strategy? And if you're a buyer, honestly, my number one advice would be just hold on, because you're gonna have amazing buying opportunities very soon. Just hold your breath, and don't hold your breath. Just relax. Take a few breaths. That's what I mean. Just relax, take it easy, because you're definitely going to see some amazing price cuts in the near future. Now, I want to say a huge thank you to anybody out there, all of you guys out there that have been supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. I've been getting so many positive reviews, so much great feedback, so many likes, so many comments. It's really amazing, and I want to just thank you guys so much. Now, if you guys do like my videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.